Hey everybody, Brian here. It's Tuesday, the 4th of March, 2014. Let's look at our stocks. Perfect world we're still involved in. If you got involved at $23.21, we've been talking about that 23.20 level for a couple days, and that was the place to buy it. We at midday had put our stop at 25 and a quarter. That did not get hit, so let's keep it there. I'm sorry, I think I said the stop should be 24 and a quarter at this point. So nice movement in PWRD. Hopefully you're in it. Shares of MVIS gave us no reason to get involved, and now it's below that 5-day moving average. I think it's going to need a little bit more time to heal in here. I'm not going to keep tabs on this one any longer. It just doesn't seem like it has the ability to get going, but we may revisit it in a day or two. Shares of BlackBerry, if you got involved in this one at $10.50. Then this afternoon or midday, I had suggested a stop in here at $10.30. That wasn't hit, so let's keep that stop there. It's a little disappointing the way it pulled back in there, and the bigger level is probably going to be up near this 1075-ish level for it to get going. So anyways, if we get stopped out, it'll be a small loss here of just 20 cents at this point, but let's just give it the benefit of the doubt for now. Shares of SolarZyme, SCYM, we had talked about this one above $12.38, and a stop midday. I'd suggested, I forgot where I put that midday, but right now I'm going to say that our stop should go at $12.12. So that would be basically just below this little consolidation low right here where we had today's pivot. So $12.12. As we mentioned, for a day trade, we were talking about it in here and raising our stop. So the day traders got stopped out, but swing trade is still, I mean, it still looks good. There's a very big short position in it. It's got a great looking weekly chart. If you sold out of it, I would suggest that you continue to monitor this one as well. Shares of TNP were an entry above $6.99, and that did obviously trigger here today at $7 a share. At this point, I would say that the stop would go to about $7.14. So it pulled back here a little bit right late in the day, but $7.14 looks like a good place for a stop right now to make sure that we don't get stopped out with a loss. Shares of Microsoft gapped higher today and ran up to that daily R2 and settled in there. It did pull back and got back above VWAP. We didn't really talk about that too much in chat, but for tomorrow, I think this makes for a good swing trade entry above today's high. So we want to be a buyer of Microsoft above $38.48. We would set our stop down here at $38.08 and look to sell half of it up near about $39 a share. I still think that this is a great idea for an investor. If you're looking for an investment idea, Microsoft looks like a good one. Of course, I'm not talking at all about the fundamentals. I'm talking about the chart. So if you are considering investing, then maybe you keep a little bit wider stop. I can help you with that if you're interested. But absolute worst case investment stop should be down here at about 37.15. I'm not going to track it from an investment standpoint, but I'm happy to answer your questions about it. We will stick with a stop for swing traders here at 38.08. Make the trade trade your own. If you're an investor, then trade it like an investment. Don't trade it with a swing trade stop. New ideas for tomorrow would include, first let's take a look at the swing trade ideas, the official swing trade ideas. We've been watching this EXEL for about a week or so, and EXEL is another one that's got a fairly decent short position, more than fairly decent. 25% of the float is short. That would take about 15 days to cover. It's got a good looking weekly chart with room to run, and I think that we want to be a buyer of this stock back above $7.51. So that was today's high of $7.51. Some of you might want to buy it earlier. That's up to you. Maybe you want to buy it above $7.44, where we had this little consolidation. Either way, where you decide to purchase it is up to you, but I'm going to say officially we're going to go with above $7.51, and our stop would then be down here at $7.28, so a little bit below this little consolidation area, and we will look to take half of it off up near about $8 a share in shares of EXEL. One other Swing trade idea is a shipping company. I think this is the best looking shipping company there is right now. You can look at this as a little inverted head and shoulders pattern that it broke their resistance at 1050 today. And looking at the weekly chart is more impressive, because when we look at this weekly chart, you can see that it clearly has made a longer term bottom. And by breaking this level here today, it doesn't look like there's much potential for resistance till really about up near 11.5. What we'll do is we'll look to buy this stock tomorrow above today's high. Today's high was $10.99. So we'll buy it above $10.99, and we would set our stop in this stock at about $10.55. That gives us a little bit of room in there, and we'll consider taking half of it off near about 11.5 for a partial position to take half of it off. So those are our swing trades. Now for some other ideas to keep an eye on, including AWAY, AWAY. This one is another one that has a pretty decent short position. Not huge, but it is up at all-time highs, and that definitely puts pressure on those shorts. You can see it broke out 3-4 weeks ago, and it's been holding those gains really well. Now on shares of AWAY, maybe getting back above 47 bucks a share would be what gets this one going here. Now we could maybe wait to buy it above today's high, or maybe you buy a little bit here above 47, add to it a little bit above today's high of 47.37. Either way, that's again up to you to decide where to do it. There's no perfect way, but I think that if you do get involved above $47 a share, that a stop would be $46.45 would make a lot of sense to me. We don't want to give it a lot of room. If it fails and takes out this higher low above a rising 5-day moving average, then there's really no reason to still be involved in it. Shares of Sienna are probably a day or two early. As you can see here, we're having a little bit of trouble with that declining 10-day moving average, and this recent resistance in here is actually at about $25.21. Now, looking at a weekly chart, we've got a nice looking chart here. The daily chart looks good above this level, $25.21. The reason it's not an official idea for tomorrow is because it'll be a little extended if it gets up to there and then breaks out. What we'd rather see would be a rally up towards about 25.15, pull back to about 25, make a higher low, and then break out. So again, we're on the watch list with this one, probably a day or two early, but just start watching it. And if it does something that you think will get the momentum going, then by all means. There's no perfect way to do it. I don't want people to think that the number that I say is the magic number and nothing else can work. My job is to bring you the good low risk, high potential trades. These are the stocks that we talk about. If you're still comfortable buying shares of MY after it's already made a 40% run and we were involved right at the beginning, then that's up to you. But I'm not going to bring extended stocks to you. I'm bringing you low risk, high probability trades. That's what I do best. And sometimes I sell them early. That's maybe a weakness of mine, and you have to adjust your trading plan accordingly to what you think is proper for you. Shares of DHRM. Now this one's been a pretty good winner here recently, and another one here. It's got close to 30% of the float is short. We can see that we're close to all-time highs here. It's got a big, it's got big momentum in it recently. It got back above that 5-day moving average today, and now I'd say that DHRM, if you're have a little bit more speculative nature to you, then perhaps you want to be a buyer of some of this one above $10.50. Above $10.50 might get it going. And if that's the case, that you were to buy there, then I think a worst case stop should go probably about $10.15. Don't want to risk a lot. Now it doesn't look very thick here, but on the intraday time frame. But the average daily volume is 805,000 shares. Today it traded 645,000. And it looks like it should be able to continue to move higher. Shares of Frontier Communication, really nice looking weekly chart. So again, I don't I'm not here to provide investment ideas necessarily, but some of these stocks have great looking longer term charts and can make for good investment ideas. This is the type of stock that has a good investment chart. That is, it's got a longer term bottom that has occurred over a year, and now we've got these higher lows close coming up with a rising 10, 20, 30, 40-week moving average. And if it can get going here, maybe this is a type of stock that in the next couple of years is up near about $7-8 a share. I don't see that as an unrealistic type of scenario. And if you're an investor, maybe your stop goes underneath the 50-day moving average. Let's talk about the swing trade setup that I see here, though. And it's probably a day or two early, but it looks like really this is the key level for the stock is $5 and a penny. So if you get involved in it there, I would say a stop of 488. Just similar to the other stock we just spoke about. I would rather see it kind of rally up towards 5, pull back to 495, and then get going. But again, it's got a great looking longer term chart. Possible investment scenario here for you. Make the trade your own. Understand what your personal time frame is. I'm not running a day trading service here. I'm trying to bring good swing trade ideas, and sometimes they make for great day trades, and sometimes they make for great investments. We'll see what this one does, but you have to understand your personal time frame. It's not the same as mine, nor should it be. It's not the same as Joe or Steve or Bill, whoever the hell they are. But the point is, make the trades your own. Shares of HIMX, this one's been in a nice uptrend. It's been consolidating here for the first 2 months of the year, and it's got great momentum. Perhaps it can continue to move higher. It is a stock that's maybe a little bit extended, looking at a longer term time frame. But again, on the daily, we've got a nice tight consolidation here. It's really probably more in a range than anything, but I think that if it gets back above today's high of $14.40, then that's where we might see some momentum come into it. And if you did get involved, worst case stop will go down here at about 14.02. There's no reason to get it, put your stop down here or whatever. It's 38 cents or so is plenty of risk for this stock, and it looks like it has the ability to maybe get going. It's been riding that rising 50-day moving average. Energy's been building in here, and it looks like it could be ready to get going, as does OUTR. Now, outer wall, this one is just a couple pennies off of all-time highs here, and the short position in this one is actually pretty big too. We've got, actually the short interest in OUTR is 33% of the float, and that would take about 11 and a half days to cover. So short's clearly in some trouble here. It's a watch list idea because, as you know, I ask where has it come from in the last 2 days. It's gone from 70.5 to 73. It's short term, maybe a little bit extended, but if you were to get involved above today's high of 73.18 with a stop near 72.50, that could be the good risk reward in here. But because it's extended a little bit, I just want to put that on the watch list idea and let you decide what is best for you. Just because I put some of these stocks on the watch list rather than up above, it's mainly a preference of where am I gonna do. What I try to consider, as I always say, is I want to bring you ideas that make you money, and I want to bring you ideas that where you don't have a high chance of losing. And this is the type of stock that if you're not quick with it and if you don't honor your stops, you could lose $1 or $2 very quickly. So for that reason only is why it's on the B list, in case you're wondering about that ever. QTWW, now this group, the alternative energy type fuel systems, has been strong, and QTWW, you can see here, has a nice weekly chart. Perhaps it's going to run north of $10.5 a share. The daily time frame we just broke out here today with some above average daily volume. Average volume is 728,000. Today we did 2.3 million shares, and looking at the 10-minute time frame, looks to me like back above $9.69. Not necessarily today's high, but back above this little peak right here, back above 969 might be what it gets it going. Maybe it's going to need to take out today's high of 980. Either way, keep your eyes on it up in this area. And I'm going to say again, there's not a reason to risk much here. I think a stop near in this one near about $9.20 would make sense.